Welcome to another edition of Capitol Forum. This is Jack Kalavritinos. This is our chance to talk to players, individuals, organizations who are here in Washington to better tell the story of their organizations. And I'm just so pleased and happy to have this group from the American Hellenic Educational Progressive Association, known as AHEPA, three of its current and former leaders here with us today. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
We are going to really today seek to first better get to know each other, your backgrounds, as well as what is this group AHEPA, and the group that has had such an incredible history here in Washington itself. Also, not only its connections here in Washington, but understand your educational, your philanthropic efforts over the years, as well as your commitment to senior housing. So, to my left, we have Supreme President Savas Tsivicos from Asbury Park, New Jersey. Welcome. We have past President Nick Karacostas, the chairman of the AHEPA Board of Directors, and from Bayside, New York. Yes. And we also have past President Ike Gulas, who is currently your chairman of the AHEPA Senior Living Program from Birmingham, Alabama. So welcome to all three of you. And we're going to get started with you, Supreme President Tsivicos. If you could tell us a brief history of the over 100-year history of this organization, AHEPA, and its connections to Washington, D.C.
First of all, let me say that it's a great honor, but also a great responsibility to be leading the oldest and largest Greek-American organization, founded in 1922, at the time when the young immigrants were persecuted, were marginalized, oppressed, discriminated against, in order to unite and fight back and be successful, and also help the young immigrants to assimilate in the American way of life. And they had done an outstanding job in achieving that. And here we are now, over 100 years later, very proud that our community is one of the strongest in the country, and the envy, I will say, of many other communities, with relationships from the bottom all the way to the top, presidents of the United States, congressmen, senators, elected officials throughout the country. And the most important thing is that we have managed to create some programs that are unbelievable in nature, helping people. Our educational programs have probably exceeded hundreds of millions. Philanthropy, the same thing. Civic engagement, which is very important for us. We are a grassroots organization. We are present in every state throughout the Union and now around the world. And we are very proud in being able to communicate with our elected officials and present our case to them when it comes to our national issues, when it comes to the invasion and continued occupation of Cyprus. So it is a great honor, but as I said, it's a great responsibility because a lot is depending on this organization. And I think at the end of the day, AHEPA is very proud to be the voice of the community and a bridge between the U.S., Greece, and Cyprus.
And here we are in May 2024, and I guess that's what brings you here, you gentlemen here this week. If you want to talk a little bit about what makes this week significant for AHEPA.
Well, we are here in Washington as part of our annual visit to the Capitol to meet with our elected officials and present our issues when it comes to policy, when it comes to the national issues that are very important, the trilateral relations between U.S., Greece, and Cyprus, new strategic arrangements. The relationship between the U.S., Greece, and Cyprus is at its highest level, but yet Cyprus is still occupied, and the sovereignty of Greece is being challenged every day by Turkey. And we are here just to educate our elected officials. Also, we have our biannual congressional banquet where we're expecting a crowd of over 400 people and some 30 congressmen and senators and we are honoring 4 of them tonight. So it's a great opportunity for us to come together, see each other, but also promote our issues.
Well, I can say from personal experience, having worked for Congressman Mike Bilirakis and having attended one of those banquets with him, just how important those are to happen annually and to bring so many Greek American and non-Greek American members of Congress. I note, and you may want to highlight this, how many members of Congress are, and former presidents are proud members of AHEPA and like to talk about their own membership.
Absolutely. We have many elected officials that are members of AHEPA. And we are very proud of that. We had 3 or 4 former presidents of the United States being members of AHEPA. I don't think there is any other organization that can claim such an accomplishment. So we are very proud, and that is a testament to AHEPA's standing in the community and here in the United States. So for an elected official of the highest office to consider becoming a member of an organization, I think the message is very loud and very clear.
You are so right. And the fact that President Bush 41, in one of his major speeches, actually called this organization one of his 1,000 points of light, that says a lot right there.
Absolutely.
Tell us about 1 or 2 of your initiatives this year as Supreme President, and then you're gonna move to your colleague.
The number 1 priority, of course, is to expand the organization and increase the membership, and we have done, I believe, a very good job so far. The membership is very mobilized, is very interested in giving back, which is very important, and they do give back when there is a purpose. One of my priorities is a program called Journey to Greece. It is a program where AHEPA subsidizes in essence, all the expenses of young students attending Webster University, which has a campus in Athens. And while they're there for 4 or 5 weeks, they earn 6 college credits at the same time, transferable to any university in the US and Canada. And this year, we're sending 22 students with all expenses paid to get reconnected with the motherland, and also have this unique experience, because I believe this program creates, in essence, tomorrow's ambassadors of Hellenism, and it is no substitute to that. And I have to thank AHEPA Senior Housing, since we are all here, for really stepping up to the plate and supporting this program in such a great way. And I would personally like to thank Gulas, the chairman, for really stepping up, because it is a program that is going to grow, and it is a program that is going to leave a legacy behind. There is no other substitution, and there is no other program like that that can provide not only the educational aspect of it, but also to provide the students with that unique opportunity to visit Athens for 5 weeks.
I mean, that is fantastic. And talk about looking forward and helping the youth and young people reconnect with the country of their parents, grandparents, great-grandparents. Past Supreme President Nick, would like to talk to you about your current role, which I believe is the chairman of the board, and 1 or 2 of your top priorities right now in your new and very important role.
Thanks, Jack. First and foremost, thank you for having us today. We appreciate being here and hosting us. As our president said, AHEPA has over 100 years of history. But I think AHEPA transcends that 100 years. The programs, the initiatives, the great work that we do in communities is bar none. As the chairman of the board of trustees, I am honored to lead a small group of individuals who manage the day-to-day, operational issues of AHEPA, and of course its finances. We're blessed to be well financed here in 2024, 102 years later after our creation and our birth. We have an educational foundation that currently has over $30 million in funds held in trust to give out annual scholarships. Part of that $30 million was a recent 17.3 one-time gift from an anonymous donor from Connecticut to perpetuate, giving scholarships in the name of her deceased nephew, giving scholarships to those who go to graduate school, medical school, law school, et cetera. The AHEPA name has attracted such, especially modern day, such gifts and endowments that's probably one of our main focuses on the board, besides the day-to-day. We also have a 501c3, AHEPA Foundation, Inc., which also relies on gifts and donations to perpetuate the AHEPA name, in perpetuity. We work daily to run our building here in Washington, D.C. There was a point in time when the AHEPA insisted on having its headquarters in Washington, D.C. for obvious reasons, as you and our president have noted. I won't repeat, but we're proud to have this building, which we own in DuPont Circle area, and our name, our logo is proudly displayed in the most powerful city in the world. So.
Very good point. And your point about scholarships, I'm not sure people truly understand that AHEPA is not only a fraternal organization, but I know as a member of, over the years, 2 different local parishes, that families are very well aware of those scholarships, and the families that receive them, and the students that receive them are so appreciative, including my own sister way back.
Over $2 million yearly in scholarships.
Yeah, if you add up the scholarships that we give direct from our headquarters in Washington, D.C., plus the individual chapter level and their specific states, it's over $2 million annually, as our president has stated. It is remarkable, and it leaves a footprint for these young students to follow on this particular path as they become professionals and progress in their professional lives.
Nick, let's go back to your time as Supreme President and an unprecedented trip by the Greek Orthodox Patriarch, His All Holiness Patriarch Bartholomew, who came to Washington, and I understand he came to your AHEPA headquarters. Tell us about that visit and maybe some interesting details about it.
Well, it was a historic visit by His All Holiness Patriarch Bartholomew, who in modern day sits in Constantinople. He obviously wanted to come to the United States to support orthodoxy in our Archbishop, and we were blessed to have him visit our headquarters here in Washington, D.C. We also had a private dinner with him at the State Department that AHEPA had sponsored at that time.
Great. And tell us about his actual visit now to your headquarters and any sort of fun facts about that visit, because that had to be unprecedented unto itself.
It was unprecedented. The streets were closed. We rolled out a red carpet, as is tradition. We were all gathered outside, awaiting his arrival. We escorted him in the building. He blessed the building. He blessed those of us that were present that day. And then he insisted on sitting with us in Basil's office, our executive director, and have the traditional Greek coffee with the traditional Greek butter cookies called koulourakia. And we engaged in small talk, and he reveled in the fact that it was his turn to visit us instead of us visiting him as we do annually.
So $17.3 million. I understand that very significant amount is what an anonymous AHEPA contributor has contributed to both your organization as well as its foundation. Tell us about the impact that you and the leaders hope to have with that contribution.
Amazing, very impactful, and the correct word is transformational. That word was coined by our executive director, Basil Mercedes, which we use in our press release. The reason, because it obviously transformed AHEPA's ability to give these scholarships. It quadrupled the amount of money that we're going to be able to provide to students starting in 2025. Up until this point, the AHEPA was able to provide millions of scholarships, but only to undergraduate students, years 1 to 4. This specific donation is directed specifically to graduate students in the sciences, medical students specifically, and also grants for medical research and other types of scientific research.
Well, that is unbelievable, and especially the part about focused on those seeking medical schools, since this country, as our viewers know, has a growing shortage of young doctors going into the profession, and therefore a shortage of those who are going to medical school.
Right. Just think about the amount of money medical school costs the average medical student, and now we're going to be able to assist with that cost in a very, very meaningful way.
Now let's look forward, 10 years, 50, even 100, and would like to hear from you. What measures have you and the board of directors taken to really create a sense of permanency and stability for the organization?
Certainly, a very important topic. The board, as well as the Supreme Lodge, the executive officers who run the day-to-day, have embarked on a multi-year plan going forward in order to ensure that the AHEPA name and the history and the programs will live in perpetuity. We've been able to establish an endowment. We are working all together to raise money for this endowment, in addition to bringing in younger members, as our current membership was originally from the forgotten generation, and as they are slowly leaving us, we need to fill that void, and the younger generation has now embraced our programs and our individual chapters around the world. They like what the AHEPA stands for, and they understand the brand, and they look forward to working with the programs going forward. So it's very meaningful.
And the fact that you both are sitting next to each other, and the fact that you're talking about the youth, and Ike, you are running a senior program that I heard from the Supreme President has helped to fund this program, sending students, all expenses paid, to Greece. I mean, love the symmetry between the senior living home really helping the youth. So would you like to talk to us about your current role chairing that program, which is one that is so on the minds of so many of us who have family members who are in a variety of different types of senior living?
Absolutely. And once again, thanks for having us here and helping us discuss what AHEPA does. And I also had the privilege of serving the order like these two gentlemen as Supreme President. Now that I'm chairman of the board of AHEPA Senior Living, it's a program that was started over 45 years ago by the AHEPA. And it's we started with the HUD 202 housing program, which builds affordable senior housing, apartment complexes, basically to house seniors. So currently we have 87 properties in 19 states. We also have 4 assisted living facilities in Indiana that we house several hundred residents there. And since, say, 1989, 90, we started managing the properties, and we're a nonprofit. So we've given away over $10 million in charitable contributions since then. And one of our goals and objectives is to support the AHEPA charities. We support Journey to Greece, we support Cooley's Anemia, the Service Dogs, Educational Foundation. So every year we give back to the order. We also give back in our local communities. We're in, like I said, 19 states. And so we give donations in those local markets as well. So we're touching
I mean, that's just about half the country right there. Could you tell us a little more about the service dogs? We were talking earlier about that.
So we had it's a national project that was started several years ago where we paid to train these service animals for disabled veterans. And I think to date, I don't know how many dogs we've funded.
We are close to 1.5 million, and you can divide that by each project cost between $15,000 and $20,000. So we have placed these trained dogs with veterans throughout the United States. But it's another service that AHEPA provides, not only for its members, but for the largest community, as I pointed out. We are not just doing things for our members. AHEPA is above that. AHEPA is there to provide services throughout the United States.
When you think about it, AHEPA was started to help the Greek immigrants that came to this country that didn't know how to read and write English and become American citizens ingrained in this country. And look at us today. I mean, we're supporting seniors that can't afford to live independently. We're supporting veterans who are suffering from fighting for this country. So we've really interwoven ourselves in the fabric of this country.
My own grandfather, who came here from Sparta and had a diner, the Bell Restaurant, several blocks from here, proudly wore his AHEPA pin, and that's how I learned about AHEPA and eventually joined Chapter 31. So let's sort of finish up here with looking at the future, but in the near future, 2.5 months from now, something very special is happening in Cyprus. So if you could tell us about the upcoming convention.
Yes, we are very proud to host our annual international convention. And this year is going to take place in Cyprus. Unfortunately, this year marks the 50th anniversary of the dark and brutal invasion of Cyprus by Turkey in 1974 and the 50 years of continued occupation. The message is very clear. We're visiting Cyprus, yes, to have our convention, but to primarily unite our voices with the Hellenes of Cyprus and proclaim to them that the Hellenes of diaspora will continue the fight until Cyprus is liberated. And also, we will be giving the opportunity to many people, the majority of the people who never visited Cyprus, to get to know Cyprus and see how beautiful it is. It presents an opportunity for people to even explore investment opportunities. So our message is multiple, but the primary message is very, very political. We are continuing the fight, especially here in Washington, D.C., until the occupation is terminated.
I mean, that sounds like a win-win-win investment, fun, tourism, but as your last point, the strategic decision to have it there, I think, should send a lot of people a message just how serious this community is. From the Capitol behind you, where you're going to be tomorrow, to taking this message to the island where this illegal occupation still occurs all these years later.
Absolutely, and I would like to take this opportunity to thank all the people in advance for coming and being with us. They're going to have a unique experience, and I hope when we leave from there, everybody is rejuvenated, ready to double our efforts until that day where the sun of freedom shines all over Cyprus.
Okay, let's ask another question about community service, because we've touched on it in some different ways. If you just want to talk about it a little bit more, and maybe some specific areas of the country where you all do such important work.
Well, we are very proud to be throughout the United States. We have chapters in every state of the Union. And they're doing such a tremendous amount of work in their respective communities. Outreach. As I said earlier, our services are not geared only towards our membership, but also towards the greater community. They undertake projects, they help people, they help with social issues, they promote programs in their respective cities, and that's why our organization is so respected. And the work that our chapters do is what keeps us going, because this is an organization that is based on its chapters, their activities, their membership, and we are there to be the spokesman of the entire family of AHEPA.
Yeah, tell us online, where's the best way for someone to get involved in AHEPA and learn more?
Well, all the information can be found on our website, and I will encourage our listeners and the viewers to please visit the AHEPA website. They can find all the applications, they can find for the different programs we have, they can find all the information they are interested in, and we are there to serve. We're there to help people with internships right here in the Capitol, but also they can find the applications for all the scholarships we provide and the applications for all the different programs that AHEPA has to offer.
Great. Well, thank you all so much. This has been enjoyable. It's been informative, and I hope to see you back so we can dig into some of your initiatives a little deeper. Thank you.
Thank you,
for
Jack.
having us.